Well, I'm very fortunate. I have a couple of lovely ladies here that are on the other ends of the microphone. And because it is St. Patrick's and because the Irish culture is so meaningful to us all. And also I was down, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, down at the South Shore Country Club. And believe it or not, I was in the company of quite a few Gaeilgeoirs from Rossmuck and also from the Aran Islands, and I was greeted and all the salutations were in Gaelic. But this is a little bit different because that is a program which is doing remarkably well here in the Boston area. As a matter of fact, there's a proliferation of it around the country, and it also has been on the syllabus of some of the high schools in the area. So I would like to introduce here directly across. Joanne, why don't you introduce yourself?
Diolch Hamish.
See that now, and she's an American.
And I'm an American. I know I sound like one.
I shouldn't say you're an American, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, I am. Asperla, Ismisha Joanne, Gaeilge, Siobhanna Sanamdum, and Tame Mahone in Quincy. So that means my name is Joanne, or Siobhan in Irish. And I live in Quincy, and I am a relatively new student to Irish. I'm also the treasurer of the Cumann Gaeilge in Boston, and I'm here with my teacher, in fact, Máire Concannon.
Well, before I leave you, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, obviously I have Irish. I don't have the Irish language, but my family is from Ireland on both sides. My great-grandparents, they are from Cavan as well as County Louth, but they are several generations back. So I did not grow up with anybody in the family speaking Irish, but I've always been interested in the Irish language, music, culture, history. And a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to attend a Law Gaeilge at an Irish Language Day at the Irish Cultural Center that the Cumann was putting on, and just said, this is for me, and I want to try. And they've been very warm and welcoming and patient with an American who's trying to speak Irish. And I've enjoyed it very much.
And your first college was?
Boston University. I graduated undergraduate in 1990 from BU with a degree in international relations, minor in French. I also have a master's of business administration from Boston University. And then I decided to have a mid-career change and become a lawyer and went back to Suffolk University Law School.
You know, you'll never make heaven.
No. Or at least it'll be a faster ride south.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so now I'm a lawyer with the federal government. And I enjoy, this is part of my fun, is learning the Irish language and learning more about the culture, the history, the language, the music, and the art.
And your colleague?
This is Máire Concannon. She's a teacher at Catholic Memorial, and she's also my teacher with the Cumann Gaeilge. And were you born in Ireland, or were you born here?
I was born in Norwood, so...
Well, listen, the news was in Norwood before it was in Galway City, I can assure you of that.
That was often the case, so we have an American teaching other Americans Irish.
Yes. But you wouldn't know it listening to her. She sounds like all the other native Irish speakers that I listen to.
And you have this, you are teaching actually at Catholic Memorial in West Roxbury.
Yes, that's my full-time job. I'm on the faculty at Catholic Memorial, and we have an Irish Studies program as part of the curriculum there, which probably, when you look into it, might be an outgrowth of the work of Cumann Gaeilge over these many years, that the students and the faculty or the administration of the school were interested in enough to offer Irish on the curriculum. So I think we're the only one that we know of in the United States that offers it as a full subject.
Now, it's also been offered at the third level in some of the schools. I think we have Harvard.
Yes.
Yeah. And any others that you know around the area?
There's Elms College.
And Boston College.
Right.
And there are quite a few others throughout the country and Canada, but it's unique at the high school level, I think.
Yeah, for example, they have a great studies program at Stonehill College. And
Fabulous.
if they're not doing it now, I think that they do plan to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, many people of the general public are interested, those that have it, to fine-tune it, and those that don't have it, to acquire it. And there are glorious opportunities available for the adults. So which one of you wants to answer that question?
Would you like to start?
Well, we've offered classes through Gaeilge for many years, probably going on 40 years at various locations. But in recent years, we've been based at the Irish Cultural Centre in Canton, and the new group of classes will be starting right after Lá Féile next week. And there'll be 3 classes offered, beginners, intermediate, and advanced. And those 3 groups are just very fluid names, actually. If you're brand new, jump in. If you want to refresh, try one of the groups and move from one to the other if you wish. But they'll all be offered on Wednesday evenings for 10 weeks, starting on Wednesday, the 18th of March. And you can come over and register in person and join whatever group you like.
And if you'd like to register, you can either go to the Cumann website or you can go to the Irish Cultural Center in Canton's website and register that way. And the classes are from 7:30 to 9:30 Wednesday nights.
Now, which one is your classroom? Upstairs, downstairs, ladies'
All of the
chamber?
above. All of the above.
How many different locations do you have?
Well,
it depends.
It depends. We hold the classes at the Irish Cultural Center right now. They've been incredibly supportive of us, and we're very grateful. And right now, we've had beginner and intermediate classes, and now we're adding for the first time a more advanced class. We don't like to use the word advanced just because it tends to intimidate people, but just if you have more experience and maybe you want to just either brush up or you want to challenge yourself, we have a guest teacher from Ireland and Aoife, and she'll be joining us in the spring. Her class will start April 1st because she's traveling. But we spread across a couple of rooms in the Irish Cultural Center on Wednesday nights. But we're also looking for more teachers and more locations because we realize that Canton might not be convenient for everybody. And so we're putting the call out. If you're interested in becoming a teacher, if you're interested in starting a class elsewhere, by all means, go to our website and contact us, and we'll try to work together with the Education Committee.
I was down last evening, and it's pretty well ploughed out,
yes,
which I think is
remarkable.
A great credit to them. They had a nice show there last night with somebody, I guess, that you studied under.
Well, Kate has actually, Kate Chadbourne she has her Bardic Academy. She's a storyteller, a musician, a teacher, and she's been terrific to work with. She was actually one of the presenters, teachers at one of our law Gaeilges, not last October, the October before, where the theme was Samhain or Halloween, and she gave a great presentation to the group, and so she contacted us again, wanted to do some more events with us, and we're very excited about it. We're working with her right now to try to set up 1 or 2 events in the spring, maybe at the Irish Cultural Center, maybe somewhere else, but we're working with Kate. We're very excited about it.
Well, it was quite appropriate. Her topic last night was Naomh Bríd agus Naomh Pádraig.
Oh, very wonderful.
Right, and she entwined both of those, very, very much. Matter of fact, they tell us that maybe St. Bridget was probably one of the first bishops ever. So I guess things didn't go in that direction,
No, it didn't.
Again, who are you hoping to address?
Well, right now our students are, well, first of all, we'd like to have more members. And so if you come to the website and you sign up to be a member, it's $25 for an individual, $30 for a family. And then you'll get on the mailing list and you'll learn about all the events that either we're running or we're co-promoting with other groups like the Irish Pastoral Center, the Irish Cultural Center, the Irish Network of Boston, and
I saw Sean Moynihan this morning.
Oh, did you?
And he was very, very upset because he had to leave and take his daughter to basketball.
Oh,
that's what happens when these guys get married.
Yep.
All of a sudden the women said you have responsibilities, so he had to leave us a little prematurely.
Yes.
But however, he was there for a good part of it.
Right. So to finish answering your question, so first we would like more members. So by all means, come to the website and sign up and be a member, and you'll come on the mailing list. And also join us in our classes. There's no pressure. You're not going to get graded. We'll meet you where you are. I had no Irish whatsoever coming in, and even if it's been a long time since you've spoken it, by all means come in, and we allow the flexibility to move from class to class in the first couple of weeks for you to find your place. And the teachers are also as flexible as well, meeting people where they are, trying to use different resources.
Now, obviously, I had Gaelic from elementary school to secondary school the whole way through. And, of course, needless to say, if you don't play with it,
you lose it.
You lose it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I used to do in order just to keep abreast, each year I would go down to Unspedale. And I would go down into the village, and I would sit on the bench there, and I would see the little nippers and the nappers, right? And, of course, they were all speaking, of course, fluent Gaelic.
Of course.
So it comes back very, very fast. But one of the things is practice obviously makes perfect.
It is.
Yeah. So
another thing we're trying to work on with the Cumann is maybe get some children interested in Irish language. We have so many young Irish families here in the area, and we'd like to have children's classes, and we're trying to organize something in that way for the coming months.
Right.
what is the best age? What is the best age?
I think if you get them from say 6-7 years and up, they're just like little sponges, and they'll pick up the Irish. And for a couple of years, they had an Irish Celtic summer camp in Canton at the Cultural Centre, and I worked there, and it was remarkable how much they'd pick up in a week.
Wow.
It is. I mean, I lived, it's a different language, but when my father was in the Army, we lived overseas in Belgium, and I was 4 when I started to learn French. And it's essentially my mother put me in a part-day daycare, and they spoke nothing but French, and it was sort of sink or swim. But I think when you're younger, you don't have that fear of performance. You just want to make friends and you want to socialize. And I think the younger you can start, the better. But, I was, early 40s at this point when I started Irish, and it is definitely harder starting later, but I think it's definitely worth it. It gives me another connection to my Irish roots.
Yeah. And, of course, a great central place is for Gaelic sports, also for dance,
Yes.
and all the rest of it happens to be the Irish Cultural Centre.
Right.
So it works very well. Okay, the last the last word on your part. Shoot.
Well, on behalf of Cumann Gaeilge, we wish everyone in the Boston area beannacht dína féile pádraic, agus tá áthas áireann a bheith anseo a Seamus, agus go naidíonn tá leat leis an chlár iontach seo ar a radio.
Now, do you speak Munster Gaelic, Connacht Gaelic, or Ulster Gaelic? What's your dialect?
I speak Spiddle Gaelic.
On Spedale.
On Spedale.
Okay, very good, yeah. I had maybe a little bit of misfortune. My first was Monaghan, then from Monaghan to Leitrim, and they were doing Northern Gaelic. Then, of course, into Tullamore, which was a little bit outside the Pale, we were doing, I guess, Connacht Gaelic, yes. Joanne.
No, I was just going to say to wrap up, I wanted to, again, encourage people to come to the website and to sign up as a member first. There are other events that we've had, like we talked about with the events with Kate Chadbourne. We've also met 2 Irish ministers, Joe McHugh, who's the minister of the Gaeltacht, as well as Jimmy Deanahan.
Yes,
Deanahan.
Yeah.
He's the new minister.
Actually, you helped cater a breakfast for him.
Yes.
That was pretty dainty.
It was.
Yeah.
That's actually how you and I met.
Yes,
So-
true indeed, indeed.
so,
No,
yeah.
I thought it was a super
was.
job. Yeah,
It was.
As a matter of fact, they were blown away. And the other very interesting thing is one of his aides was a young lady called Reen, who actually is related to many of the Reens that are here in this area. So it really was nice to see somebody, one working for the government over there, and of
Yes.
course Jimmy.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was very, very enthusiastic. How much encouragement are you getting from the Irish government?
We're getting quite a bit more encouragement of late than we did previously. And the new Minister McHugh actually visited our classes in Canton, and he was very enthusiastic, and he offered a lot of support to the students because he's a student himself. Yes. And he was very open about that.
Did he give you a couple of bucks?
Not yet. We're waiting.
No,
So
Have you applied?
we've received money in the past and hope to maybe garner some support in the future.
Who wrote up the request?
Well, the Consul General, Brendan O'Queely, he's been a great supporter of the Cumann. He was actually an honored guest at our last Law Gaeilge. He spoke about our theme for the last Law Gaeilge was Irish heroes, and so he spoke a little bit about who he thought of as his Irish hero. And he also sang a song. And but he has been very supportive of it, and we've filed applications with him to receive funds, and they've been generous. To us. So we're waiting on another one.
and he doesn't use his name in the Berla.
No, always
no.
in Gaeilge.
Yeah. His Irish is phenomenal.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And the other thing that struck me as extraordinary, he grew up in Dublin.
He did.
And that certainly was not a hotbed for, although the Christian Brothers over there, they were crackerjacks.
And I think he spent summers in Invern learning his Irish.
Okay.
It was funny, when the Prime Minister, or when the President was over, and I'm talking about President Higgins, his kids were sent to the Gaeltacht for the Gaelic, and somebody who was here, as a matter of fact, was one of their tutors.
Oh, wow.
So it was very interesting when he came here and she came up and said, "Remember me?" And of course he did, without a doubt. So it was nice. Well, listen, I want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you,
Seamus.
And I'm glad that the snow has somewhat disappeared.
Yeah.
There was a Father Martin who is a Jesuit, wrote a little thing about go away the snow. Yeah. So we played it a little bit earlier.
Wonderful.
But
I think it's having some effect.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, miracles never cease.
That's right.
For sure. Yeah.
We believe in miracles.
Yeah, true indeed. All right. Well, we're going to continue now with the music. And coming up anyway, we have one here. And it is Deirdre Riley going to do her arrangement of Days in Old Donegal, and then I'll escort the two young ladies out of the studio. And thank you very much for coming in.
Cormila Magat.
Anything else to say, or are you all spun out?
Well, I was just wondering if you wanted to talk about the trip to Ireland.
The Cumann students have been asking to have a field trip to Ireland. So I'm coordinating a trip with Muincheras, an Irish educational organization in Connemara, and we're planning a trip to Ireland this coming June for about 10 days, leaving on the 10th of June, coming back on the 20th, staying in Connemara and in Donegal. It's open to students of Irish, adults of any level, and they should take a look at the Cumann website. There's a brochure there and further information. So if you're interested, this is the time to look into it.
And just to let you know, I'll be going. So
give a number and give the web again.
The website is info@cumann.org.
That's actually the email address. The website is www.cumann, CumanN-Gaeilge.org. So CumanNagailge.org. That's the website. It has all the information on there. And if you have any questions, the email address that Máire gave will get you an answer right away. And we welcome you to just even try out a class if you just want to try it out the first day or two and first class or two. We'd love to see you.
Real pleasure to have you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Seamus. Gurmila Magad.
Roiv. Got to get my tents and my persons together.